Billy beep deep beep deep. Billy beep deep beep beep beep. Billy beep deep. Billy beep deep beep deep. Billy beep deep beep deep 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 deep. Billy beep deep deep deep. Billy 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 deep deep deep. Billy deep deep deep. Billy deep deep deep. Billy 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 deep deep. Yeah! Internet. Excuse me. Whoa, I almost like coughed and sneezed at the same time. Oh. Everyone knows that's not a good idea. It's not a good idea to sneeze and cough simultaneously. I think you might be able to die if that's the case. But anyhow, Internet! What up, Internet? What's going on? It's Monday! Labor Day! Labor Day-ber, everybody! It's Labor Day-ber! Coming at you live on a Labor Day. You should have the day off. You should be having the day off. You should be freshly showered, smelling like daisies, and just enjoying your time. I get it, guys. I get it. I'm just like you. I want to be binge watching Ozark also. What a crazy show. But for right now, we're going to talk about fish. That's what we're going to do right now because the sun is still out. It would be weird. It would be weird to be watching. It would be weird to be watching Netflix and doing all that right now because we have still got some daylight left to handle some of the labor. As you guys notice, I am wearing my disgusting work shirt because I have been laboring away today myself on Labor Day. I know it's a holiday, but you know what holidays mean for me. Holidays mean for me time to get to work. There's a lot of extra work I can get done because most people are like, hey, man, take a chill pill because it's a day off. It's the day off right before the kids go back to school, right? So most people are like, hey, we got to chill. We got to chill because it's our last day to chill with our kids and all that kind of stuff, and then they're going to be going back to school. Everyone's going to be getting right back into the workflow tomorrow, which I'm sorry. I apologize for you. Or I apologize for you. Why would I apologize for you? I apologize for that. I mean, I get it. I've been getting a lot of comments on a lot of messages of late from people that are like, hey, man, you live in the dream. And I get it. I get it. I've been blessed with a lot of awesome opportunities lately, and as the title here says, we're getting ready to go to Minnesota. That I could put that right down on the list of awesome things I get to do, which is go out local fish club and provide support with my man Schwisky. I see him in the chat, and Cordry, what's his Colby Jack? What's his name? I don't know. That guy from the Aquarium Coop, aquariumcoop.com, right? Is that where you locate the Kubi? I think you find the Kubi on aquariumcoop.com. I think that's where he's at. But we're headed. We're going to pack our bags and leave in free flight, flying through the sky like a wizard, right? We're going to be flying through the sky and headed to Minnesota. We're going to spend a couple of days out there, go to the local fish club. I think Corey is going to be giving a speaking engagement. I think that's a nice way to put it. There's a speaking engagement and a dinner thing that we're going to go to, along with we're going to try and hit as many fish rooms as we possibly humanly can humanly possibly go to film and say hi to people and try and share some of the amazing projects that are going on out there. I know that one of the internet personalities that we're going to be going to see, I believe, is Kang Lee. I believe that we're going to see Kang Lee, is what I mean. I think that's what I'm trying to say. What is the words that are trying to come out of my mouth? I'm trying to figure it out right now in my head, and I'm not that great right now because I don't have any notes here. Sorry, guys. Amateur hour. This guy's just going full amateur hour today. But one of the internet personalities I'm hoping to get to see, maybe convince Kang Lee for some kind of guppy situation, right? Would be cool. I'm gonna have to bring big piles of cash. I'm gonna have to bring I don't have big piles of cash, but I'm gonna act like I'm gonna bring big piles of cash. I'm gonna act like it. I'm gonna try and give myself the interpretive dance of acting like I have big piles of cash. And see if I can get myself a guppy, because I need myself a male. I need myself a male guppy, because as Potato Bro mentioned yesterday, my female guppy is still doing fantastically well. I will admit, my female guppy is just doing fantastically. She's doing so well in her 150-gallon shrimp aquarium. It's a aquascaped shrimp aquarium. And, that's where my female guppy lives. I'd like to get her a mate. I'd like to get her a male. I'm excited to do that. I'm hoping that I can pull something off. Maybe he's got one of those like maybe he's got one of those whatchamacallit. Maybe he's got one of those male like firetail guppies. I think maybe people call them that, like the street name. I don't know. I'm always confused by the street names, but I'll know it if I see it. I'll see it if he's got it. If he's got it, I'm going to try and be like, hey, man. What's up, buddy? I'm going to try and get one of them guppies, bro. But we'll see. Because you never know. Because you never know what's happening in that guppy game. You know what I mean? So let's check in with the chat here. Matt Sorelli first to the chat today, quickly followed by John Gonzalez and Andy Gironi, saying first time not playing catch up on a live stream. Oh, digging that. Way to show up early to the early bits. Swamped House is on Wanamingo is a place. I know Wanamingo is a place, but boy, does that make me think of Fallout 2. I must have missed something. Oh, it's Wanamingo's name. Got it. Wanamingo with a 222. Oh, I always dig it when you have the three same numbers. I like that. I was asking if I'm going with Corey to Minnesota. Yes. Hopefully I conveyed that. But let's check out and see who else is here. Little Largemouth is here. Lotad, what's up? Samantha Flanagan. Samantha Flanagan. Oh, I love that last name. That's a good one. It always feels like something important's happening if there's a Flanagan. There's a Flanagan about. I like it. Select Pet is here. M. Howie9, what's up, my guy? Michael Davis. Mortal Slayer is here. Wheezy is here. Sharon Gregoire. Sharon. Redneck Aquatics is here. Says I have a FX6. Is running on a 210-gallon, and I want to add CO2. What would be the best way to do so? An inline reactor would be my favorite out of the output of the FX6. That would be my favorite way to do that. The output. Do not run your CO2 into the intake of your filter. Don't do that. Back in the day, we thought that was awesome, and we did that a lot. Little did we know, after a little bit of research and kind of figuring out what was going on. Long story short, way more downside than upside. So you do want to try and do something that is on the output. So if you could run, an inline diffuser or something like that on a 210-gallon, I know that the problem would be most likely that a reactor being on the output of that filter will probably slow down the flow in that tank, so you might end up running into a problem as the FX6 is not adjustable in my... It might be adjustable. Is it adjustable? I don't know. It's been so long since I messed with a canister filter. Maybe you guys will correct me and let me know if the FX6 is adjustable or not, but I don't think that it is. So that might be the one issue that you run into, so you might have to do something else. There are a lot of CO2 diffusers now that actually do get micro bubbles into the water column, so that might be the other easy way to go. Insightful one, fish keeping is here. Tampa Tom, negated. I don't know. Man, is that a double negative equals a positive, right? Maybe. Like I said, Schwisky is here. What was he saying? He says, I have no idea what that means. And then he says, reunited, and it feels so good. I gotta actually sing that properly. Reunited, and it feels so good. I can't... Where's the tone on that one? Reunited, and it feels so good. Where's the depth of tone? Reunited, and it feels so good. Right? You guys could tell I've had the day off. I've been outside sawing things and building a new fence portion for my lady and doing some cleanup. But we were trying to shoot some video for the show today, so to anybody out there who would definitely be missing the video portion today, we came short. We came short on the video portion, and so I'm just gonna make it into a regular edited video, so you guys can check that out later like Thursday or something like that. So sorry about that. We couldn't get enough shot for it to really be that good of a video. So if anybody's here for the video portion, sorry, we're just gonna be chatting for like an hour, and then I got to get back to work before it starts getting dark out again, and I end up sawing my other thumb off, which happened before. Let's see. Jeff Rose Fish Keeping is here. What was he asking? He was asking a question. Where did it go? Anyone have any information on Minnesota for Saturday? I have no idea what's going on Saturday. I think we're going somewhere. I don't know. If I was Jeff Rose Fish Keeping, I believe you have Corby's contact information. Maybe you could contact Corey, or you could bug me and or Schwisky as we get closer to leaving town. That might be the easiest way to go. Since we're going within the United States, guess what, guys? High five. I'll have cell phone service this whole time. I won't have to be searching for Wi-Fi for like free Wi-Fis and stuff, which is a big part of my problem when I'm overseas. I have to piggyback on people's Wi-Fi all the time. I haven't found an international thing that's going to work very well yet. Now, everybody says just get a new SIM card, drop it in there, blah, 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 do all that stuff. I have not been able to work that out very well personally at this point yet. So but luckily, since I'm going in the United States, I should have cell service the whole time, and it shouldn't be really that big of a problem to get a hold of people. Which, ultimately, that was kind of the problem while we were in Europe and stuff, is that didn't have cell service, so I think people were trying to contact me and stuff, and it was like, I just didn't get it. I was just in parts of the world that I couldn't get my cellular communication device to operate properly, Nick Hall is here. He's been watching Street Outlaws all day. I was saying this has to be the biggest binge watching holiday of the year. This has to be the biggest binge watching holiday. There's no way it's any other day, because there is basically nothing to do today except, for most people, except chill out, lament that today is essentially the last day of summer, and if anybody starts tripping on me and starts talking about how it's 3 weeks from now, just relax. I mean, everybody's going back to school, everybody's blah, blah, blah. Labor Day is essentially the end of summertime in America. I don't know. You might live in Uganda or something and be like, what is this weirdo talking about? So, But my foot's falling asleep, so hold on a second. Yeah, my foot's falling asleep, so guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to sit on my other foot until it falls asleep, because, I don't know, I'm just a weirdo. Frank Dominguez is freaking out because there's no video. I get it. I understand. I understand. Gillett says it's 3 weeks from now. You're right. You are right. You're in New Zealand, so you live in magical mystery land. You know what I mean? So we don't know really what is going on in New Zealand. I'm going to have to go to New Zealand at some point in time, probably catch some shrimp or something like that. I do look forward to someday being able to book that New Zealand trip. We'll see what happens, but man, I want to go there. I want to, there's a lot of other things I want to do while I'm in, if I ever get the chance to go to New Zealand. Some other stuff I want to check out too, but there definitely is some cool plants and shrimps and all that kind of stuff out there. You just have to go get them, you know. Nick Hall is asking, where can you get acrylic tanks on the cheap, 20 to 40 gallon size and under? Need to find good deals on acrylic tanks. Who has the best prices? Realistically, there aren't a lot of people that have great prices on acrylic tanks. And one of the big issues with that is that the time that it takes to put them together. You know, all of the seams and everything still needs to get properly sealed together and polished and all that kind of stuff. But I think one of my favorite places for small acrylic tanks is, believe it or not, well, I don't know how to type today. I haven't been in here typing at all. Let's see. Here we go. Acrylic aquariums. Let's see. Half to 10 gallon. 10 gallons are 120 bucks. 15 long. 15 long is a cool tank. That's 140 bucks. 20 gallon tall. So I think everything about 20 gallons and under's 180 down to 84. Yeah, I mean, I just is oh, sorry, glasscages.com. I don't even think I mentioned where it was. I've ordered a bunch of tanks from glasscages.com. I wouldn't say that they're the fanciest company out there, but I've found them to be personally the most economical. I use a local builder to build my tanks. As you guys know, we had the 120 that is going into the fish room, which that's a big portion of what's happening the rest of today. We're moving a bunch more tanks. We're going to be aquascaping a reef tank. We're going to be setting up a new reef tank. The old 60-gallon cube is broken down and moved. So, like I said, I didn't really have a video portion today because it sort of would have been like half of a video of... I would have been just Bradley and I wandering around, like, doing stuff, and then there would have been no end or really anything to explain to anybody. Sort of like, here's halfway how you build something, because it's not even done. So, sorry about that, guys, but, you know, I have to... does anybody realize that my wife... Oh, man, I almost called her my wife. She's not my wife yet. She's my future wife. Victoria is super pregnant. So some things that have gotten moved to the back burner are being pushed to the front burner because I want to get them all done long before our baby gets here, and not be stressed out about stupid things that you know, could have been done before. So definitely been pushing to get a lot of that stuff done, and just doing the best I can to get that stuff out of the way. And, you know, the fish room stuff can kind of wait. That's not really that big of a deal. I mean, in a realistic way, because the baby coming. Yeah. Betsy Cummins says, so, Miss Candy Overalls, I understand from a little birdie you're looking for somebody. What? And then a big huh. I don't know. The chat is confusing me also right now. Let's see. Wushu Jimmy Brown says, I heard a really loud thunder, but there aren't any clouds outside. Shall I ponder this? Ooh, I'd ponder that. But around my house, that probably would be a giant aircraft flying at about 300 feet, if that was happening. Luckily, today is a holiday. It seems like the armed forces have today off. There's no training today. So we had very few low-flying gigantic planes, which is not the worst thing in the world, you know. Can't complain about that. Can't complain about them loud noises not being around. Let's see here. Nelson Montanez says, hello, rare opportunity to catch the stream live. Yeah, I appreciate you guys all coming out on the holiday, you know. I know you guys had to stop your Netflix queues. You know, you had to stop all them Netflix queues and whatnot. I see Keng Lee in the chat. What did he say? Hello, hello. Keng, aren't you at the fair? What fair? Is there a fair? Oh my gosh, you guys. Is there a fair? Is there a fair right now in Minnesota? Am I going to be able to go to a fair? I mean, let's be honest here. I would only want to go to the fair because they have ice cream all over the place. They have lots of ice cream there, and you guys know I'm a huge fan of ice cream. And I am pretty sure that Minnesota has a long-lasting tradition, just like Michigan does, of having ice creameries around. So I'm thinking I'm going to be in pretty good ice cream shape. You know what I'm saying? Like a pear or something like that by the time I get done. So I think it'll work out pretty good. Let's see. Jeffro says, is a workstation build in the garden good brownie points with the ladies? Oh, yeah, Jeffro's wondering. He probably saw on Facebook, Victoria posted, we finished up the whole garden workstation, which had kind of just been put on the back burner, mainly because our garden started growing super intensely, right? And we just decided that, like, oh man, we've got enough garden going for right now. So we decided to, like, not expand it any further, but by the end of the summer here, we've decided to clear out a bunch of stuff, add in a bunch more beds. We got finished yesterday building the a big garden workbench. I mean, it's not huge. I think it's like 5 feet wide by 2 feet front to back, and then I think like 36 inches tall or something. I don't know. It's like waist high, so you can work on it. But I did put a marble countertop on it. Yeah, to all you guys out there that are wondering, like, what kind of countertop does this guy put on his garden bench for his lady? I say marble slab, my friends. It's going. What? What happened? Marble slab. It's going to be marble. Victoria only deserve. Excuse me. Sometimes this microphone just gets out of hand, you know, and you just can't hardly trust it anymore. But my lady, she deserves nothing but marble countertops in her life, unless she wants butcher block or wood or laminate. She can get whatever she wants. I actually had done a bathroom project quite a while ago that I had this giant piece of marble left, and I used that as the countertop. Let's see. Sebastian Joe's in Minneapolis. I gotta figure out how to say that right, guys. Minneapolis. Is that how you say it? Minneapolis, right? Is that how you say it? Let's see. Sebastian Joe's in Minneapolis is the ice cream destination. That sounds good. TC Guppies, gonna have to disagree. Soda Hot and Cold is where it's at. I might have to go to Soda Hot and Cold also. Hello. Hold on. Bless you, my dear. Bless you. Victoria is over there sneezing. You know what I'm saying? The Victoria is over there sneezing. I wonder if we could all throw out a bless you. Or a Gesundheit. I don't know how to spell that. How do you spell Gesundheit? Does anybody know how to spell that? I don't know. I don't. I have a severe deficiency, even though I have been to Germany, have no idea what is going on when people speak German. Other than body language and tone and inflection and all that kind of stuff, I can sort of pick up on what people are talking about from that, but I have no idea what's going on. And I realistically have no idea what's going on when I see Hungarian, okay? Like German, I could probably maybe sort of kind of figure out something that may or may not be going on. But I do have to admit, the Hungarian is incredibly difficult. Oh, there we go. Gesundheit. I like how you guys Google search that. It was pretty good. Everybody says Gesundheit, babe. You guys, I'm going to pass it on. She said thank you. She really did. She's trying to take a nap, and yours truly is yelling and screaming into a microphone like a wild animal. But this is what we like to do on Mondays. I like to lower the expectation on Mondays for extreme amounts of video because Monday is such a crunch day, you know? I want to try to do more video on Wednesday or something like that, or I don't know. We'll figure it out. Actually, I'm just making up a story. I'd like to have video on Mondays as opposed to Friday, but, you know, I don't know. What am I saying? It's Labor Day. I'm just confused. Kroger is German, and he knows how to speak German, I would guess, which is great. I have to fully admit that is a gigantic blind spot for me, but I don't speak Vietnamese either, so you know what I mean? There's a lot of languages I don't speak, so I speak Spanish and English, and that's pretty much it. So I'm definitely trying to sort it out. Oh, Victoria says she is not napping. She's got to feed the baby kitties. Yeah, quick story here. We ended up with more baby kitties again. This is happening a lot lately. I don't know what is going on. Folks out there, spay and neuter your pets, right? We have baby kitties again. They don't have their eyes open. We're having to feed them every 2 hours from a little thingy, you know, it's a little squeezy thingy. And it's happening. It's a happening. You know. Don't feed the baby kitties. That's pretty good. Punctuation is key, folks. So, yeah, I don't even know what I was talking about. I read Johnny Zalaya's question here. What do you think of the Twin Star lights? To be honest with you, when I was at Interzoo, I was really impressed by the Twin Star lights that were there. I don't have enough experience with them to either say yay or nay. I know that when I talked to George Farmer, he has expressed that he's had pretty good experience with them. I would love to get some in to test out or something like that, but I haven't heard back from Twin Star ever, so I don't know. I probably got to get up to 900,000 subscribers or something for those guys to get back to me, would be my guess. Or I got to be European or something. I don't know. Maybe that's the deal. But I never heard back from them. I probably don't have enough subscribers for them to get out of bed or something. I don't know if I had to guess. But I was really impressed by the Twin Star lights I got to check out. But as I mentioned, I just have never tried to grow anything under them. I've never put a par meter under them or seen any of the PER. I've looked at some sheets that they handed out, but I haven't been able to verify any of that kind of stuff. It's definitely one of the reasons I recommend the Fluval lights, because I have messed with them a lot. I've tested them a lot. I've done quite a few. I've done quite a few tanks with them. It's one of the reasons I recommend them. I think a lot of people get upset when I recommend the Fluval lights because they're like, they're expensive. I'm like, yeah, I do agree that they are not the cheapest light out there. But when I think about cars, this is how I equate aquarium lights. You know, if you're thinking like a Maserati or a Lamborghini, there's a spot there, right? Then in the middle would be like Lexus or BMW or something. You know what I mean? Like, hey, this is good, but it's not Maserati. It's not crazy priced. And then the rest down here is sort of a Ford Focus or a Toyota or something like that. Like, it's gonna work, but this is the cheaper one. You know, I put the Fluval right in the middle. I think it's probably like a Lexus or something because it's not outstandingly expensive, because there are a lot of lights out there that would love more attention on them, but they are crazy expensive, and I don't even talk about them because, you know, it's like Ecotech and stuff like that. Like, one of their lights would be $800 or something, you know what I mean? And that's crazy. But I think that the Fluval lights are really good, you know, because I've used them a lot. I would love to try out the Twin Stars, see what the pricing is like, that kind of stuff, and see how they actually work before I would say, yeah, go for it. You know, and maybe I just talked way too much about the fact that I don't have that much experience with them. Like I said, I've messed with them a little bit, but I've never had any long-term. Oh, my hand is so, like this muscle right here is just on fire today. It's something to it. But I haven't had enough experience with those lights to really, really, really recommend them, which is why I recommend the Fluvals. I've had a ton of experience with those. And I've used quite a few other lights. Don't need to mention that many of them, though. You know what I mean. Rory says 21 tanks. Wow. Who has 21 tanks? Oh, Gone Mad. I labored all weekend moving 21 tanks. Gone Mad doesn't even have 21 tanks. Turbofish has 21 tanks. They moved all of Turbofish. And then I saw a post about it on the Facebook, and I was like, oh, whoa, you guys moved? And then Eric gave me a hard time because he's like, man, you're out of the loop. And I'm like, how am I out of the loop? Unless I've been excluded from the loop, then I would like to know what type of behavior I have committed that would make me be going out of the loop. You know what I mean? If I'm being forced out of the loop, what happened? I just been busy. So, you know, you guys got to let me know what's going on, because I get busy and then I'm totally just busy. If you don't let me know what's going on, then I won't know what's going on because I'll be busy. I'm not one of those people that can just sit around and space out and not do anything, but I think becoming a father might have help with that. Because there's going to be a bunch of times where I'm just like, oh, I'm just sitting here with my baby. Right? That's going to happen. I believe that's going to happen. In my heart of hearts. Everyone keeps telling me, as soon as the baby comes, just nap whenever you can. And I'm like, oh, man, just nap whenever I can. We got ourselves some super chats here coming up real quick. We got one from Mike saying iPhone money. Man, am I supposed to have an iPhone? I don't want to have an iPhone. I want the Galaxy Note S9. The S9, the Galaxy Note 9. Vicky and I went and looked at them on Friday, but the company we went and looked at was being less than genuine with their contract to purchase a phone. So we decided to go a different route and not buy phones while we were there. Alvin Alejo with the $2 super chat with nothing on there. It's just thrown in the tip jar. Well, thank you, man. Appreciate it very much. M. Howie 9. Oh, I read that earlier and mid deal. Alvin has been uploading episodes in the podcast format. I hope him and Dan are in cahoots on that, figuring out what's going on. But Alvin is the guy who's started uploading them. I don't know. But that's cool. I dig with it. I dig it. Let's see. Iris myself says, miss you. Don't let them give you guff. Well, I won't let them give me guff. It's a good point, Iris. I won't let them give me guff because, you know, I'll never know. Fishy Mailman says, what is this, a Sunday stream? I just got done setting up a Clown Killy tank. No, this is Labor Day-ber. The mailmen have the day off. The mailmen have the day off. Along with the Senate. I think if the mailmen worked the same amount of days as the Senate did, we would never get any mail. Shots fired. Shots fired at the United States government. Shots fired. My vote is to expand the post office, you guys, and shrink the Senate and the House and the executive branch. That's right. I'm going to give you guys a little friendly piece of my mind. Back in the day, the post office used to have a little bank in it. It used to have it used to have a little bank, and it used to have another thing which escapes my mind right now. What's the deal? Oh, it used to have a little grocery, and it used to have the telegram service, which obviously is kind of outdated now. But I wholeheartedly believe that if we were going to keep putting money into our system, I believe we should keep putting it into the post office. Okay? This is one of the things, if somebody asked me if I ever ran for office, what would I run on? I would run on this. This is part of what I would run on. I believe that we should expand the post office. I think that we should start putting in what are considered, they're called concierge clinics out here, which they will normally have a CNA or a nurse practitioner or a, what is it? What's the lower level doctor? I forget. I wasn't really ready to talk about this. I wasn't really prepared. But we have a concierge clinic. So, like, if you had a flu or strep throat or a fever or a cut or a burn or something like that, it's essentially a clinic that you can walk into and do that. That would be the first thing that I would add to the United States Post Office, right? Why would I do that? Because I would want to start to show gainful employment in all of the areas of the United States to expand our healthcare system. Boom! Suck it, Trebek! We need to have good jobs for those people that want to learn how to become doctors, nurses, nurse practitioners, all that kind of stuff, right? And how do we, like, influence people to do that? What's an easy stepping stone of people that would want to move up in their medical career but wouldn't be able to do that very well? Well, as we know, we have a shortage of paramedics in the United States. We have a severe shortage of paramedics in the United States. Can we start hiring and training more paramedics in order to get them? And what do we have them do? We get them into the post office service, because here's a great way to get them some part-time employment, especially over the weekends and evenings and stuff like that, as more and more packages move about the United States, right? And start paying for their schooling so that they can become paramedics. As they become paramedics, we put them into a position, right, that would be able to move them towards working in those clinics within the postal system. And there's no reason why they all need to be separated. These are all government jobs. It's not that big of a deal whether it's the fire department or any of that kind of stuff. You know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about? And this just keeps going on and on and on. Like, as we move through each segment, we should probably have a bank. We need to have a bank back in the post office so that we can start teaching people proper banking techniques and allow them to have a free place to bank so you don't have to pay for it. Which, I don't know about you guys, it's pretty difficult to get a lot of stuff figured out if you don't have a bank account. Blah, 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 blah. So all that stuff, I believe, is the way to go. A lot of those things were a part of the government back in the day. And then, you know, through the ideas of capitalism, we end up with these amassed amounts of money that are just pushing around all of the laws now. And now we have no say in what goes on anymore, and it sucks. Labor Day. We don't even have voting day. We have Labor Day, where we're just going to have the day off and watch Netflix all day, and we don't have voting day. That's one of my big issues. But either way, let's move on, and we'll talk about some fish stuff that we got going on. Like I said, I'm moving the 60-gallon cube, right? The 60-gallon cube is actually going to occupy the 180-gallon reef. That's where it's going to be moving into. It's going to move to the other side. I'm super stoked to let you guys know. I don't know if I mentioned this before or not, but the 120 is ready. The other 120 is still not built yet. As you guys know, I worked a bunch of extra jobs, saved up all my money. I'm buying another 120-gallon aquarium. It is almost done. It won't be done until I get back from Minnesota. So, but hopefully today we get the 180 moved and all that stuff out of the way so that we'll be able to build the area that will be ready for the two 120s when I get back, which is totally exciting because once those two 120s start going into place, that means I can start putting the plumbing and things in place for the pond, you guys. Speaking of ponds, there's another... there is another pond project going on that you may have noticed from Kobe from the Aquarium Co-op. You might have noticed that guy, right? There's a big pond going on up there. I can't wait to get that thing filled with water. That thing's coming along and will look, I think, pretty cool as far as... I think it's going to be pretty cool. I don't even know how many gallons it is. Let me do the quick math here. There's no way to do that math. I don't know how to do that math. It's crazy. It's crazy, you guys. I don't know how to do that math. Matt Sorelli with the $4.99 super chat saying Corvus for president. Well, to be brutally honest with you guys, I would never really run for president because I believe that the executive branch should be eliminated and replaced with a voting system that actually works and everybody could vote on it and occupy that third of the government. You know, I'm not saying get rid of the Supreme Court. I'm not saying get rid of the House of Representatives or the Senate or any of that stuff. But I believe that the executive branch needs to be replaced by the popular vote of the United States people. If you're going to pass federal laws, we should all be voting on it. That's my opinion, and I'm sticking to it. There's no reason for us to be a representative republic anymore in 2018 when I am able to talk to you guys on the internet right now. Where's Gillett? He's in New Zealand. Candy Overhauls is in Montana. Let's see. Dan Squires is in England somewhere. We had a German here. We had, let's see. Most of these people are Americans, but you get the point. I'm able to broadcast around the world right now as we speak, live, and literally answer questions live and all that kind of stuff. There's no reason that the United States should be operated under a representative republic while we have this technology. Representative republic was put into place in order to safeguard us against the things that were going on in the past, like, I don't know, people on their way to go... people on their way to go travel across the country and place votes on things, then they would die. You know? Because you used to have to, like, get on your horse in California and try to ride all the way across the country. And then the next thing you know, as you guys know, if you've ever played the Oregon Trail, boom, diphtheria, you guys. And, you know... It's almost impossible. It's like the Oregon Trail, just the other way around, except you were going to try and place some ballots. And, you know, it's 2018. We have the technology to handle it now. And, you know, that's the deal. Oh, man. Peter Thiel's here, guys. Hey, buddy. How you doing? I don't know. I don't know if I should ban him or not, you guys. He really spends a lot of time lurking around. You know, bygones be bygones. I don't care. Let's see. Sean Creeb says, how do I get rid of green algae from moss? Is it too much light? What's up from Australia? There we go. There's another person on the other side of the planet. There's another person on the other side of the planet I could talk to right now. No reason that we shouldn't be voting for our laws federally. There's just no reason we shouldn't be collecting a popular vote on that stuff. But to answer your question on green algae and moss, yes, the best thing you can do is black it out. You know, put it in a blackout period. You know, cover it from its light. That is going to be the best thing that you can do. There are some algicides and stuff like that that you can use in order to get This is one of the few times that I actually endorse using algaecide because it's virtually impossible to really get it all out from moss because it's so tightly wound. And you can put it into a separate container. What are you doing? Get out of here. But you can put it into a separate container with the algaecide, and you can keep the algaecide from getting into your overall tank and causing a problem somewhere down in there. You know, throughout the whole entire tank of just adding some kind of weird medication or not. Let's see here. Ooh, Gareth Doyle is in Ireland. There you go. It's pretty much the thing. We're able to talk around the world. Let's see here. Daddy Tanky says, found some rust on my rack, so I'm breaking it down and resetting it. Can't wait to be up and running again. I know that feeling. Been down that road before myself. Yeah, Wanamingo is saying just combine all the government services into the post office. I believe that... So what I was talking about earlier is expanding the services of the post office in order to allow a real path. A real path for... you know, as young Americans are working their way up and have opportunities to get into the fields that they want to. There are a lot of countries out there that have... systems like this in place in order to kind of send people to technical schools and things like that as they're going through school. And I feel like eventually the United States would get to that point. I feel like the United States would get to that point, but what's the incentive? What's the incentive for the United States to change the whole system without somewhere for them to land? I think that's ultimately going to be the biggest problem, because I think most people look at the current opportunities that do exist right now as far as professionally and that kind of stuff, it just as very minimal existences that they don't necessarily want to head into. So, you know, I feel like that's the way to go. And one of the big things that could help with that is allowing, you know, the popular vote to occupy the spot where the executive branch does right now. Let's see. Thanks, mate. At least your government doesn't charge leaders or change leaders or charge leaders. Not sure. Brett Dill, Singapore has some good systems as well. Alternatively, I'm sure someone can point out problems, but they're also relatively new first world economy. Yeah, there are issues everywhere. I think regardless of where you go, there are issues. The United States is an amazing place. I think it is a fantastic place, and I love being here. I love being other places too. I mean, I love all of the planet pretty much the same because I'm from the planet Earth. I'd probably consider myself a human before I consider myself an American, which is probably against the way that Americans are supposed to say how they think or feel or whatever, because we're supposed to be these, like, rah-rah patriot nonsense, you know, all this craziness. And, you know, I'm a human. I'm from Earth. I relate to other humans. That's the thing that I see first and foremost. And, you know, if you're waving a flag first before you're waving your humanity around, I don't know. I think that you might want to rethink exactly what you're considering as your position on the planet. But let's see. Miss Lininator says 2 different friends were just in Ireland. Must be the thing right now. Oh, yeah. I've never been to Ireland. I would love to visit. I would definitely love to go visit Ireland sometime. I've got some good friends that are Irish from Ireland and stuff, and it sounds like a fun place. And the weather is not that different from here, so I don't think it would be, you know, that kind of crazy. There are definitely some parts of the world that I kind of think twice about going to, whether it's like Antarctica or like the middle of Africa. Or like the middle of Africa where it's like the weather is so crazily different. Hey, man. Oh my God, it's a baby! Oh my God, was that a baby?
It's a baby.
Oh, it's my sweetheart. There she is. Oh, should I put you on baby cam? That's the puppy cam. Whenever the dogs come in here and they're like sniffing around down here, I put them on the puppy cam. Oh, everybody say hello. Everybody say hello to my baby mama. That's my baby mama. You know, people think when I say baby mama, like it's a negative thing. I think that's a feather in your cap or a badge or an award. There's only one of you in the whole world.
Yes.
That's it.
If I was baby mama number 5.
That's a weird situation. Not cool. Not cool, bro. Yes, my lovely Victoria is here. That's why this will only be an hour-long show today. Honestly, I was working with those guys and stuff, and we didn't necessarily get the video stuff done and all that kind of regular things. So, you know, it is a holiday. Like, we do have to remember that today is a holiday. So, that's basically what was going on. Instead of waving a flag, wave your human leg around in a display of humanity. Thank you, Gillett. Mac B says, stocking ideas for a 135 red cherry shrimp. Is that what the RCS stands for? There are a lot of there are a lot of opportunities for what you could want to stock in a 135. As you guys know, I am a big fan of building the biotope, right? So I try to set up the environment before I get the fish. I don't like to get the fish before I set up the environment. So my main focus is setting up the environment. So the way that I think about it, a 135-gallon aquarium, the size of it is sort of irrelevant because I want to build the environment for the critter, right? You see what I'm saying? So if I had a 40-gallon breeder, I'd want to build a good environment for whatever I was going to put in it. If I had a 5,000-gallon, I'd want to build a good environment for whatever I was going to put in it. So, you know, if I was going to do like cherry shrimp, like I do in my I have a 150-gallon cherry shrimp tank, man. Come on. So if I'm going to build that aquarium, I want to build it the way that I want to have stuff go in it. As you guys know, I am building that biotope and slowly kind of edging the pH down little bit by little bit because I want to make it essentially the perfect habitat for crystal shrimp to be in. And so far, so good. All of the cherry shrimp have essentially just gone with the flow, and it is the low end for cherry shrimp to be in, but they will adapt to it as long as you're not shocking them. They will adapt to live kind of side by side. They can't mate with each other, so don't worry about that. They can't mate with each other and make weird half and half shrimp. So don't worry about that portion. But I do have. So Forrest is asking, pure just shrimp? Yes, I have 150-gallon just shrimp and one female guppy. One female guppy. That's it. One guppy. Female. Female, mind you. Not to be confused with a male. Yeah. I do have one of my tanks is set up that way because it is going to be my it's going to be my crystal shrimp tank moving forward. I just never got a colony that was going to go in it. I had worked out that with multiple people that they wanted to get me crystal shrimp and this and that and the other thing, but none of that ever panned out. And so I'm just going back to doing what I'm doing, which is I could sit and lament about the things that I don't have, which is an impossible way to live, you know what I mean? Because I'll never have a Lamborghini, and if I just try to think about the things I'll never have a Lamborghini, and boy howdy would I be all upset. I'd say, babe, there's no Lamborghini in the garage! So you know what I mean. So I've just been breeding those cherry shrimp and growing my plants in there and just having a great time with the tank as it is and not being too worried about and just really not being too worried about my own you know, what is it, what's the word I'm thinking of here, can't think of the word. What's the word? I don't know. I'm just going to say fanciness. It's completely wrong. It's not the right word, but just trying to stay grateful for the things that I have and being happy about the things I have and just rock and roll and just keep making stuff, I guess. My brain derailed and I don't really remember what I was discussing. And I bet somebody out there would be like, man, he was on a roll. He was going to say something that was super whatever, and then he didn't. And you'd be right. But I do love guppies. I do love guppies personally. I'm trying to see if I can get some really cool guppies from Kang Lee. Now, it's not a matter of whether or not Kang Lee has cool guppies, because he does, 100%. Twin City Guppies has awesome guppies, but I need it to be the guppy for me. You know what I mean? It's got to be the je ne sais quoi, the one that says, oh, this is the fish you want, right? You know what I mean? That's the fish that I'm looking for. And I do believe I did see this fish at the Guppy Championship. So I do know that this fish exists. No problem with that. It is a guppy that exists, and I don't know how rare it is. So we shall see. There's a possibility that Kang Lee has it. We could be flying across the country going over there, and I'll hopefully be able to check him out in person and then make him an offer that he can't refuse. You know, I'll be making him an offer that he can't refuse, and hopefully I'll be able to get him. Oh my God, candy overhauls! Kang Lee sent you guppies? Kang Lee never sends me guppies. I have to fly across the planet. Like some kind of Roman god flying through the sky. Right? The sun, you know, the sun flying around. Roman? Greek? Is that Roman or Greek? That's the Greek gods, right, babe? What? The one that flies around in the chariot. Oh, it's Greek. She's right. Thanks, babe. You know. So I do know that that guppy exists. Hopefully I'm going to see, hopefully Kang Lee has them. If he does, I'm going to try and get a couple of them from him. They do exist. Like I said, I saw them at the Guppy Championships in Austria. We were actually in Austria. We're in Vienna. Oh, hello. We're in Vienna. I don't know what the accent like is anywhere. If anybody ever is upset about me making accents, I don't even really know what accent I'm making, so just relax. If you're triggered, just calm down, right? Roman adopted the Greek Apollo, so it's both. All right. It's both, babe. Started out Greek and then went Roman. All right. I'm with it. Oh, that's right, because the Romans then eventually became like, you know, some kind of religion, right? After that, over time, yeah. King, did Sunia tell you have baby guppies? Oh, wow. I'm excited. My guppies spawn like crazy every day. No. Yeah. But let's see. What do we got here? The guppies these days are awesome. Totally different from what we had when I was growing up, for sure. That is true. I will say this. When I was at the Guppy Championship in Vienna, there were so many. We missed a bunch of the guppies because they got sold off. We got stuck in a traffic jam where I don't want to accidentally show you guys the inside of my passport, but we were getting a passport checkpoint, and there was a huge traffic jam. And we missed the early morning, so because we were going there on Sunday to the Guppy Championships, and because of that, there was some kind of weird passport checkpoint thing, which just meant there was a giant traffic jam. Because by the time we got to the passport checkpoint, they just waved us through. Because probably they had made such a big traffic jam, somebody made a phone call, I'm guessing. Sorry, I had to turn off the air conditioner. It's killing me softly, well, coldly. But Yeah, so by the time we got there, a bunch of the stuff had been sold off, which is unfortunate, but that's typical for the end of an event like that. People are normally selling the stuff instead of trying to take them home with them, and it's also a good opportunity to get them distributed into other hobbyists' hands and get them to start breeding and stuff, which is one thing that I'm glad some people noticed about the so I uploaded a video yesterday about the Glasser wholesaler, the Aquarium Glazer in Germany, and there was a portion that I put in there of some voiceover that I had recorded, which, by the way, was terrible quality. I understand. I get it. It was the best I could mix it to make it sound legible. But one of the parts they were talking about was the ecology of people collecting fish in the wild and just what it means in the hobby and stuff like that. And the reality was very well put, was if things were going extinct in the wild and stuff like that, the price would go way up, and then people in the hobby start to breed them. It's just whether or not people can breed all of these fish. It's just whether or not it's viable to do it. I start to look at the yellow tang. Would be a perfect example. There's been a lot of controversy around the yellow tang for quite a while, that people think that yellow tangs are going extinct out in the wild and stuff, though there isn't a ton of evidence to show that. But now they are able to actually breed yellow tangs in captivity, which was always thought to be impossible. And now a ton of yellow tangs are showing up on the market that are aquacultured. So, that definitely is one of those things that's like, oh, because there are so many people monitoring the price of the fish and stuff like that, they're not going to super overfish them, because once the price goes up, people will stop fishing them because it's easier to breed them. Then once you've bred them, you can sell them. Then they don't get overfished. So I get that that's a part of it. Yes, we still do need to maintain the sciences and pay attention to what's going on and do the counts and that kind of stuff. I'm not saying get rid of that, but just to remember that people need to take a big deep breath every once in a while. I uploaded a Manzanita video where a bunch of people were bad-mouthing me. I don't know what they were bad-mouthing. I don't know if they were bad-mouthing me. They were just kind of trash-talking the fact that whether or not we had collected Manzanita properly or not, even though they had no information in regards to that. And it was kind of interesting because I never see anybody argue about Mopani wood or bogwood or spider wood or any of the other wood that is, in a lot of places in the world, they dig it all up with an excavator. They dig it all up with an excavator, and then they pressure wash it at a warehouse place. Then they dry it out in these big giant stacks. I don't see anybody like up in arms about that, but you see a bunch of people up in arms about selectively harvesting dead Manzanita in California. Very interesting stuff. Ow. So I just thought that was pretty interesting, that a lot of those fish don't get super endangered because they become expensive. They become expensive, and then people will breed them. So, let's see. Vora says, I wonder how people manage that. Sounds like a stressful mess. In the same way astronauts would adapt to living in space. Voera says, so the fish evolved to be comfortable breeding in tanks. No, the fish don't evolve. The humans taking care of them get better at it. It's the people get better at breeding them. The fish aren't evolving, over those time periods. Is that the people get better at it. Nisi says, I don't keep salty tanks, but if I did, I'd keep tangs or clowns or the coral tings, maybe like cool snails. I have no idea what I'm talking about salt-wise, just throwing out words I've heard. Oh. Yeah. So, not a big deal. Oh, we are after 4 o'clock, so we're about an hour in. You know, I'm sorry to say it, we've hit our highest point of the day. We've got 128 people watching right now. I don't know. What's this thing? It's flippity flopping. It's doing stuff. But we are at the high water mark for the day. I will remind everybody to go ahead and hit that. Smash the like button. Hit the like button, Army. Are you guys in the Army? Hit the Army button, Squad Fam. Hey, Squad Fam, hit the button, Army. Wait, hit the squad thumbs up, Army button, subscribe. Yeah. That part of the show always irritates me too. So does this part too. So I try to make as much fun of it as possible. This show is brought to you by viewers like you. From going over to the Patreon and going ahead and being a part of the Patreon Squad Fam Army. I'm going to post the link in the chat. If you feel like you want to go to Patreon, it is a third-party site, which we are crowdsourcing the ability to make these shows, go around and do all the, filming. It's a lot of equipment gets broken here and there, and I have to replace things and blah, 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 blah. Stuff costs money. Hey, guys, just my life costs money, blah, 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 blah. It's not a sob story. If you guys want to kick in, you can. If you don't have to. It's not necessarily thumbs up or thumbs down or points for you or points against or any of that kind of stuff. If you want to do it, you can. If you don't want to, you don't have to. You can go there and do that. And what's the other thing that you could do? You could also go to my homie's spot, the Aquarium Co-op, through this link right here. And don't forget, his light sale might still be on. I'm not sure if it's over yet or not, but he was given an awesome percentage off on the Fluval lights that we actually talked about earlier. Go through that link there and use the code LIGHT, L-I-G-H-T, and get yourself a big discount on some Fluval lights. Mainly because he ordered a whole bunch of extra ones. He doubled his order on accident. Jet lag, buddy. It's a thing. It's a thing that really exists. So, but either way, you guys showing up is amazing. Thank you so much for coming out on a holiday like today. Labor Day. Why am I like way down here? I'm just gonna get way down low down here, guys. I'm gonna get way down here. This is by the way, guys, this is how I virtue signal. 3-point field goal. Sorry, I'm weird today, guys. Sorry. But anyhow, thank you everybody for hitting the like button, the subscribe, showing up, throwing something into the chat, saying hi, seeing what's going on. I hope everybody has a fantastic rest of the day. Okay, a fantastic rest of your Labor Day. I hope it is amazing for you. Maybe it's just a regular Monday. I don't know. Let's see. Right before we sign off here, Palmer and Nick Hall. What's up, guys? People are asking about Real Fish Talk. I don't know. I don't know when it'll back. I don't know when it'll be back. To be brutally honest with you guys, I don't know when it'll be back. It'll be back at some point in time. But I got a live show here. Corey's got a live show also. We have a bunch of stuff. There's a lot coming out. We're going to be live in Minnesota, flying all the way to Minnesota. Real Fish Talk will be live in Minnesota, I guess. Go there. It won't be on the internet. You have to go there in person. I guess that's the next one. Come to think of it. That's a really good point. It's Real Fish Talk Live. That's a great point. That's a great point that I didn't think about. Dig it, man. You guys are awesome. All right, guys. Have a fantastic time out there. Bird.